boss, man.
Now detecting contaminant. Helo is returning to base.
Yo, welcome back to another Division 2 video, and as you can tell by the title, today we're going to be going into another build video. And I did drop a shotgun build yesterday, but I dropped it for a reason. If you want to check that out, you can click it in the link in the description, but let's just get straight into this build, no long thing. So as you can see, for the specialization, I'm running a technician, and I'm running this for many reasons. So the first reason is because it gives us that 50% skill power onto the build, and we're going to need that for this build. The second reason is for the hive mods it gives us, so we can equip it to the skill. The third reason is because we got 10% skill damage on here as well. And last but not least, but we got the linked laser pointer, and this pulses enemies, and I think you guys know what the pulsing does. So let's get straight into the build. So as you can see, I got 500k armor, 40k health, and over 3k skill power there. We only got 3 reds, and you must be thinking, why have you got so much low damage? But you're going to see why in a second. So let's get into the main part of the build. So the weapon, which is the Pyromaniac, which deals only 15k damage, and that's really low for AR at the moment. But for the main talents here, we got Perfectly Ignited, which deals 40% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 2 kills, applies burning to the next enemy you hit. So literally, you could kill 2 people or 2 NPCs, and then go to the next player you want to fight and then kill them by using, this talent, and it really does help. So for the second talent here, we got Allegro, 10% rate of fire, which is going to help us boost up that RPM. And for the last but not least talent, we got Protected Reload, which does help in gunfights. For the second gun, we got the Chatterbox. We all should know why we're using this, is just for that extra rate of fire. So for the mask, we're running a Gilligard mask. We got 3 brand sets of these in the build, you'll see why in a second. For the attributes, we got 51% hazard protection. And for the main talent here, we got Perfect Spotter, which deals 20% weapon damage to pulse enemies. And as I said previously, we have an attachment on our weapon which pulses enemies as soon as you aim at them. So that mod and this talent works together. For the chest piece, you've probably seen this chest piece a lot, using an Outsummit chest piece. The reason I'm using this is because this is the one I use to put up my armor on all of my builds. So yeah, I haven't got another chest piece that's better than this for armor. But we got 41k armor, we got 30% total armor in there, and we're using bloodsucker. You guys should know what bloodsucker is now. It's my favorite talent in the game for chest pieces. We got 2 defensive muscle and 1 utility muscle there. For the holster, we got a Gilligard holster, which gives us 2 offensive muscles. We got 800 skill power on there and 6.5% crit chance. So yeah, just boosting up the damage here and skill power. For the knee pad, we're running a Gilligard knee pad. We got attributes, we got 16k armor on there, and for the talents, we got 20% skill power, which is empowered. So Empowered is a really good talent. If you want to use this to up your skill power, it does really help. We've got 2 defensive mod slots on there just to boost up the armor. Now for the glove, I've never ever used this glove for a build video, never. I've tested it out and I didn't really like it, but that's because I didn't have skill power on the build and certain attributes to go with this. So as you can see, this is the BTSU gloves. You can see for the main talent on the glove here, skills that apply status effect gain plus 50% status effect duration and plus 50% skill hit. So that's going to really help when we're using our skills, and you know, when we're in gunfights, this is what's really going to help. Whenever you apply a status effect, your gloves become infused with that effect for 60 seconds. While infused, you gain plus 10% skill damage, plus 10% skill healing and repair, and plus 10% skill duration for each utility you have. Now that talent there is the most important part of the build. So this is what's really helping the build. If I didn't have these gloves on the build, I don't think it would run the way it does. For the last talent here, whenever you throw a skill, 1.25 seconds after landing it, it creates an explosion, applying an infused status effect to all enemies within 6 meters. Enemies affected by the infused status effect can take 50% more damage from your skills. It's really good, it's really good. But we got 2 utility mod slots and 1 defensive mod slot on there. That's what I like about these gloves, because you can put, you know, 2 utility and 1 defensive as well. For the bag, we're running a Get a Guard bag, and the attributes here, we got 13k health. I've liked to switch that to percentage armor, but I just couldn't find a better one, and I wanted to put this build out quickly. So for the skill power here, we got basically 300 skill power there. I like to have that higher. And for the next one, we got 21k armor in there. For the main talents here, we got tech support. Kills by active skills and explosives grant 25% skill damage for 10 seconds. This requires 6 or more. And for the unique talent, we got 15% armor. So you know, that tech support does help as well. You know, this build is just generally based around skills, you know, movement, and you know, knowing when to use these things. For the mod slots here, we got utility mod slot and a defensive mod slot. So yeah, this build is like really creative. You got to know when to use it, you know, in situations. You can't just go out there and start face tanking people with this build. Let's get into the skills. So as I said, the chem launcher, we're using this one here, which is a fire starter. It applies burn status effect on targeted enemies. So this is what we're mainly using. And as you can see, the PvP damage is pretty low, it's 48k. I could have it up to 90k, but I just don't have, you know, good enough mods. As you can see here, if I farm for mods, this build would be so much better. But it does wreck already. You can use the chem launcher and you can use the hive. We've got 49% duration, we've got 38% healing, and we've got 77% skill hits. I gotta say, my mods for my skills are terrible. I never really farm for them. I always farm for the main gear pieces, you know, and for my weapons. I like to get my build right, but I always forget about doing mod slots for my skills. So that's what I'm going to start doing soon. You can go and run with the Seeker Mine, which is this one. I don't know why I don't have this unlocked, but again, I just don't use it. So that's why it's not unlocked. So this one will, you know, do an outburst of fire, and that can help with this build that I'm going towards. So I mean, if I wanted to, I could go unlock this and then use it, but I just feel like I need some sort of healing somewhere. That little bit of healing can really help, and I just think without healing, I don't feel like I'm, you know, safe enough fighting against, you know, at least more than 2 people. So this skill wouldn't be for me, but if you want to run it with this, then go ahead, you can. I'm not too sure if it hits hard, but yeah. This build is pretty different. I haven't really done a skill build before in this game. This is my first proper skill build I've actually ever created. If you like the gameplay and you like this build and you want to give it a go, be sure to hit that like button, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Drop your feedback below in the comment section and I'll reply to you straight away. I do reply to all of my comments. I'll be dropping a funny video on Christmas Day in the dark zone, so make sure you got them bell notifications on. That is probably going to be the last video this year, because I need to take a break from YouTube for a little bit, and then in the new year we're going to be dropping so many other videos. Thanks for all the support. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new.